Hello out there. We have Dr. Brett Axelrod, Dr. Rick Markson with the Markson Connection. And tonight's topic is, what's in it for me? You know, Rick, everybody wants to know what's in it for me. So what is in it for them? Become a member of the Markson Connection. What can a chiropractor expect being a part of our group?
Well, Brett, it's a good question, and obviously we get it all the time. I just got back from traveling to Montreal for the last 4 days. You're coming up doing a weekend in New Jersey. And so we travel the country. We do our own events. We get emails and phone calls every single day asking that same question. And here's what we have it broken down to. There's 3 things that we know every chiropractor wants, and we really have it nailed down in our systems and procedures. They want to know exactly how to build their best practice, how to see more people, make more money, have more balance, have more free time, have better systems, a better trained staff, everything from first day procedure and report of findings procedure and prepay or financial procedure, whatever it is. That's the number one, absolutely. On the other side of that is they want to know how do they break through some of their limiting things from the past that have held them back. And the third thing they want to know is how do they get that overall sense of success, financially, prosperity, debt-free, how to handle the financial thing once and for all. So let's break it down. Start with practice building.
Well, you know, it sounds like they want the dream life, and they want to feel in control, that they're the ones that, you know, the destiny of their ship, so to speak. So I agree with you. And, you know, they all want the marketing and new patients and everything else. But I think what separates what we do is, like you said, those 3 things, we combine them. You know, we give them the scripts, we give them the procedures, we give them the marketing, everything they need to do to build their practice. The nuts and bolts, the basics, we've mastered that. Our coaches have mastered that. So that is awesome. What I think separates us, though, and going to the next level is the personal growth side of things, too. Breaking through limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs, things holding them back, fear, things that they feel out of control or overwhelmed. And when we see members, our chiropractors, who finally get in control of their lives and break through these limiting beliefs, all of a sudden, within such a short amount of time, their practices do explode. They go to a whole new level. We've seen it time and time again. So even though they just want, give me the scripts, give me the procedures and policies and everything that we give them, what I see that separates is changing their thoughts and their beliefs, and all of a sudden, bam, they go to a whole new level.
No doubt about it. And one of the reasons why we do these recordings on Uvu, where you can see the 2 of us on the screen, is this exactly how we do our calls every single week. We are on the call with you, video chat, so we can see you. You're not sitting with your feet up, and you're not sitting there watching ESPN, and you're not sitting there checking your email. We're like this. We're laser beam focused the same way you should be when you're adjusting your patient. And one of the reasons we get such great results is we see your reactions. We're really interacting as if we're sitting in the same room together. So that's one of the things that separates it. And like you said, we've had the nailed down procedures that we use in practice every single day, both still in practice, that have been adopted and adapted over times from 50 years of knowledge from Larry, our partner, from adapting what we've done in practice for 18 and 21 years, what still works, what's getting great results from our members, from what we see in the marketplace, from already answering all of the questions people have. So procedure alone isn't enough because, like you said, I could hand you the textbook, but in order to get you through the results that we get, we have to go through by cleaning up your past failures. And unless you're expert in the coaching aspect, that's not going to happen properly. And Brett, one of the things I'd like you to address is people have really got a sour taste when they hear the word coaching, especially in chiropractic. They feel like they've been burned in the past, or they became an indentured slave, or they signed a multi-year contract. How do you handle that?
Well, first of all, what makes us different is, as you know, we don't have contracts. So people in our group stay because they want to stay, because they're getting results. And if they don't want to be in a part of this, they can leave. There are no contracts. That's the first thing. The second thing is we want to meet the member, meet the chiropractor exactly where they are. I want to know where they currently are in practice and ultimately where they want to end up. What's the end result? Do they have clarity of vision, which most people don't? So the first thing is we want to help them get clear about, what it is that they actually actually want. People struggle with that. So once we meet them where they are, we see where their weaknesses are. Do they have the right procedures for volume and growth? Do they have the right scripts in place? Do they have staff training in place? If not, and they're missing the basics, the first thing I like to do is we like to work on the be and the do at the same time. In other words, I want to work on make sure they have all the procedures in place, all the fundamentals in place, because if they don't, no matter what we give them, they're not going anywhere. So meet them where they are first, what's missing, get them expert at that, mastering the basics, and at the same time, I want to explore with them in a partnership, not telling them what they have to do, not telling them what type of practice they have to have. I want to know what practice they want. But once we meet them where they are and we explore that together in a partnership by asking good questions and exploring where they've been and where they want to go and the things that have held them back and their thought process and their beliefs, that's when they start to take off. That's when we start to see the things that have held them back the most. And then once we give them exercises to do to break through that, plus the mastering of all the basic procedures and policies and scripts and everything else and marketing and new patient acquisition, you put that combination together and that is when the magic begins to happen. That's why I love the type of work that we do, because it's effective and it gets done and they get results. That's the bottom line.
You know, I have a feeling there's one sentence that chiropractors hate hearing just as much as I hate saying it, which is that everybody needs a coach.
Yes.
Right? So even the word coaching got so screwed up over the last couple of years when after 9/11 and things changed and all the big chiropractic coaching companies have really started to shrink and decline because they stopped doing their big seminars. It became too expensive. People didn't want to travel. We've created a perfect fit between the one-on-one coaching and the seminar structure. We dropped it down from when you and I started, when you and I met, we were doing 8 seminars together per year, plus the traveling to continuing education weekends, etc. We were traveling once a month.
That's right. That's right.
I can see where people think that's a little overkill. You know, chiropractors are a little more both involved as parents now, male and female. So from the 15 minutes on the phone every other week to now you and I are doing web chat, webcam, 30 minutes every week, where we're really able to make that be and do connection and move it towards their specific vision and their specified goals. It takes away all that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be on the road all the time and I'm going to be spending all these tens of thousands traveling my staff across the country all the time, and does it have value and not have value? There is no doubt the value is there. We see it in our members, we see it in their statistics, and by the way, not only that, what about the changes in people's personal lives that you've seen over the couple of years of the connection?
Well, listen, you and I are about integrity, about congruency, and about teaching balance, because I think that's very important. I don't think that it should be all about your practice and then leaving your personal lives behind, because what we see are when the personal lives come together, the chiropractor is happy and fulfilled personally, and then they bring in the professional life, and there's that nice balance between the two. I think that's when the chiropractor is most fulfilled, most full of joy. That's when they're getting the most out of life. And that, to me, is what the balance is all about. So you and I stress that a lot because I think that's important. I think spending time with your family, your children, I think is just as important. But why not have both? Why can't you have the practice of your dreams and have balance in your personal life?
I'll tell you why, because most of the time when we hear I want balance in my life, that means I want to work 2 days a week but make $6 million a year.
That's right.
That's not balance.
Right.
And even when I just did my Parenting Your Practice Properly talk, what I explained was, here's what balance is. 100% of your life, you're a parent, let's say, or a spouse, or a child to a parent. You're 100%. You're always that child's parent. You're a chiropractor.
Right.
100% of the time, in your heart, in your soul, you're a chiropractor. Whether you're working 3 days a week, fine. If that's what you want, great. But let's have realistic expectations of those 3 days and understand that there's going to be some limitations. Nobody got to the pinnacle of life success working at something 3 days a week. LeBron James didn't shoot free throws 3 days a week, and the best authors didn't write 3 days a week, and Oprah didn't even try to become who she became 3 days a week. If you want to have the absolute pinnacle of success in your life, it is a full-time effort. It is crystal clear vision, and then putting in the action steps necessary and the attitudes necessary, so when preparation meets opportunity, success is what comes out of it on the other side.
No doubt about it. And I think that's what we prepare chiropractors for. That's why our program works. That's why it's successful. That's why people are getting the results that they're getting. And I also love, listen, when they're at seminar and so one, as you said before, we're working with them one-on-one, with their coaches every week, half hour, getting touches. And what I love is what I hear all the time, some of the complaints about the profession is that in terms of coaching, every time I speak with my coach, nothing's really being said. I'm not held accountable and all these different things. What I love is we've got a plan. There's a strategy in place, a plan of growth. There's constant exercises and things that we're giving people to grow personally and professionally, and do hold people accountable. Now, as well as I do, people can hold themselves accountable, which is the pinnacle, but as what we do is in terms of holding people accountable is making sure that they're following through on the things they need to follow through on to ensure they reach the success that they really want. But the other piece to this, which I love also, is the seminar itself. So the 3 seminars that we do every year, let me tell you something. What I love is when the group comes together, the things that are missing in your life, the challenges, the mountains that you have to overcome, the feeling of overwhelm because you don't know how to do certain things. When we see our members come together and start sharing ideas and how you do this and how this one does that one, when they put that together, every single answer to every single challenge that they have in their life, personally and professionally, gets solved by the end of that weekend. I love that. So this is what they rely on, and this is why I think we call it a collective consciousness, that mastermind philosophy, mastermind approach, it just explodes. It just, they get everything they need and then some. They walk away back to their practices full of every answer, and they're just energized and ready to go, and practices are exploding. That's what I love, that other piece to what we do.
I feel so strongly about that specific topic that's what I just wrote my latest article on that just got accepted for publication. So hopefully the profession will be able to get that feeling and that understanding of almost turning back the clock.
Great. By the way, it's a great article. It's going to be published in Chiroeconomics. I really, encourage every one of you out there to read it because Rick, really nailed it. I thought it was great. And they'll understand that. Being in a live energy field, you really can't replace that. And I agree that it's not going to be every weekend that you're going to be going away, but get out to seminars more. That definitely should be a part of it because that's where the magic happens, without a doubt.
That's what the profession was founded upon.
Right.
And, you and I have been on stage in front of those humongous audiences, and there's nothing better when you look out and see a sea of chiropractors and chiropractic CAs that are in the game. They want something bigger for themselves. They want something better for themselves. Not only that, it just creates such a feeling of warmth, of I'm not alone, and that this profession is not in as much trouble as we all think it is because we've retracted so much and we just try to stay under our own rock, just in our own protection, as opposed to that feeling of expansion. And you know what? I realized that the title of my next article is Enough is Enough.
Right.
It's time to come out from under the rock and go back to the things that our profession was founded upon, which is sharing with each other, working on our weaker areas, working on the fundamentals that make this profession great, explaining to our patients what chiropractic is, what chiropractic isn't, with no fear, in a way that the communication and the rapport building is so on point and so genuine and so authentic, but people have no choice but to finally adopt chiropractic as their healthcare choice because it was explained properly in an elegant fashion by brilliant chiropractors with professional offices, that once and for all our profession can take its place where it belongs.
And you know what? For me, it comes down to one word, and that one word is belief. Belief in yourself, belief in chiropractic, belief in your team. When you have that belief and that faith, then you will take the necessary action steps. But in our experience, a lot of people have lost that belief in themselves and in chiropractic, and you start hearing all these crazy rumors of what's going on in the profession. We've got to stop the insanity, so to speak, and stop shooting inward. start to have belief in yourself again. One, you're more than capable to be successful. You deserve to be successful. This profession deserves to be on a greater level and on a level playing field. But once that belief gets reinstalled, if you will, then the right action steps start coming in, the persistence starts coming in, and then really your attitude begins to change, because then you'll develop the attitude of whatever it takes. We've forgotten that. I think our profession has lost that. So I want to get back to that one word of belief and really start to make those necessary changes again, because it is time. It is time to not sit back anymore. It is time to take the bull by the horns, reach back, pull someone up with you, and start to just say, you know what, I will do whatever it takes. I will travel whatever distance, and I will pay whatever price. You get that attitude back. You don't necessarily have to know how it's going to happen. Forget the cursed hows, if you will, but just change your attitude to get back to and saying, you know what, I love chiropractic. What we do is so different and better than what's out there now. Get back to that attitude. Start with that, and then get clear about what you want, what your vision is, and start to then work on yourself and work on your practice, master the fundamentals. And I promise you, Rick, you know this to be true, that is when the growth takes place. It's as simple as that. And we see it every single day. And that's what we want to help chiropractors with. And to me, that's what's in it for them.
And if I want to use one word, and it's commitment. What you and I have decided to do is create a commitment to help as many chiropractors as we can that call on us and say, can you help me? And because we come from such a desire to not only grow our own practices and seen it done, but now take what we've learned over our years and collectively now bring it to the profession in such a way that is so systematically oriented towards growth and success, so much of a balance of the be, do, and have. The become your best self, become a person who sheds the past, which clears the path for success, and someone who's now action-oriented enough to utilize what they learned on the systems, procedures, and policies to grow the practice of their dreams. And then finally, once the practice is growing, they also have such a good handle of the finances. There's nothing more painful than seeing a chiropractor who busts their butt for 20 years and still has no money in the bank.
There's nothing to show for it. It's crazy. I know. It is crazy.
And it's heartbreaking. And of all the noble professions in the world, we should have absolute dream lives on the other side of this, because it is a business. We've handled it all. We just want to share. So hopefully this couple of minutes will give people a view and an idea of, let me see what Rick and Brett are all about. Let me see what the Markson Connection does. Let me see what their coaches can do for me. Let me listen to Larry again. I've heard him from 20 years ago, from 10 years ago, from 16 years ago. Just to be part of a group who's in the game again. It's safe to come out from under the rock. There's no risk. There's no contract. You're not locked into anything where you feel like you're giving your life away and signing your life away and traveling every minute, where it's just, wow, how refreshing that I could really reach out and someone with full integrity really does want to help. So I'm looking forward to being able to open our phone lines, open our email lines to anyone that needs some help, to want some answers. I think we can provide it.
No doubt about it. So we asked you a question from the beginning, what's in it for me, or what's in it for them as a chiropractor, as a potential member? I hope they got a little glimpse into what we're all about. And you know what? If that's what you're looking for, and you say, hey, what's in it for me? What can I get out of this? Well, let us help you. Let us help you break through the limiting beliefs and help you to empowering beliefs. Let us help you with mastering the fundamentals and all the scripts and procedures and team training and everything else you need. Listen, you and I do this every day. We're still in practice. We get it. We understand. We're in the trenches with you. Let us help you. Call us, email us. We're here to help you in any capacity. Become part of us, and let us really, let us get chiropractic back out to the masses in this world, and let's get people healthy. Let's change lives. That's what, to me, it's all about.